I don't want to keep you too long, but I want to start off just kind of asking, what's going on right now. I know that there is a huge fight out there for you, a huge earner for you. Probably you have a chance to do 2 pay-per-view fights, but before we get too far ahead of ourselves, this next fight for you, you're looking at a pay-per-view fight. Who is your opponent?
Leo Santa Cruz.
Oh, okay. Now I know hearing you say that is probably music to the ears of a bunch of boxing fans. So when the first time when you knew that fight was going to happen, what was like the first reaction you had?
I was thinking like, I was thinking like, is he really going to fight me? But he been calling me out. I haven't even said his name. He been calling me out for day one.
Everybody's calling you out.
Yeah.
But I mean, at least on social media. I
think because he's older now. I mean, like, he's getting older, so he trying to make his big fight so he can get out the way. Make his top dollar and things like that, so he can go and retire with a lot of money. That's what I think.
So I'm gonna ask this, before we even really start talking about the fight itself and what that might mean. As I mean, you just turned 25, like some few months ago. So as a 25-year-old man who has really, really come up, I'm talking about in life. I'm not even just talking about in boxing. I'm talking about in life. What does it feel like to be that name that people are saying just for the sake of, because they know that that's the big money fight?
I just like to stay humble. If someone call me out, then you'll just see me go at them or things like that. But other than that, I just like to stay humble, stay out the way. I ain't ducking no problems and things like that. As far as people coming at me, like, try to get fights made with me. Like, I ain't even call Ryan out. Ryan called me out.
Ryan hasn't stopped.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know what's wrong. He got. I don't really want to put it out there, but he got something like he want to fight me for.
Man, we quarantined, man. You got to put it out there.
I mean, he got a little situation. He got a little situation that he need to happen through his contract, and the only person that can make that happen is me. So that's why
he's calling you out so hard.
Yeah. I understand.
Like on the hour.
Yeah.
It's like, when you used to be in the schoolyard and somebody would take somebody's hat and wouldn't give it back, and you had and you couldn't get that hat back, but from that dude who took your hat. So I think you got his hat.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I have a question with Leo Santa Cruz, and I've seen what it's like. It's all starting to make sense, and Leonard Ellerby talked about how you were going to be built and brought along for pay-per-view. And the one thing that's unique, Gervonta, about you right now is that your fights have become events. They're not just fights. They're not just TV fights. You're bringing the fans out. The fights themselves have become events in themselves. You're bringing another audience to boxing. I think you've brought new people into boxing as boxing fans. And how have you felt going into these arenas and seeing these places packed with people coming to watch you fight?
I'm grateful. Coming up, I used to always, like, if I go to like arena and things like that, I used to, like, say that I go to like I went to one of Drake concerts. I've been to Meek concert before, and I always picture myself bringing in like fans like that. I remember I screenshotted one of Meek pictures off of Instagram, and he was rapping in front of a big crowd, and I was like, one day that'd be me. So I'm always like blown away when I, walk out to the arena. I don't never even get nervous when I go, like, I'm walking to the arena and I see people, because I felt like I was made for this, so
that's confidence.
Yeah, it's I feel like I was built for it. Like I trained myself into that night, so I'm always blown away and grateful and things like that I could be able to impact people to be able to come to one spot and it's no crime and things like that, and they enjoy themselves, so that will give me the rush.
I mean, you're primed to do really good numbers for this fight via pay-per-view. You know, a lot of people want to tune in to see a win. Some want to tune in to see a lose, but you have this Mexican and American rivalry. I think it's just like a perfect formula for the first pay-per-view.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be very big. I think it's gonna be bigger than what people expect, because when I first announced, I don't even know if I was supposed to announce it or not. But when I posted the flyer and I put I put the Mexico flag, and then I put American flag, and the people went crazy, even on Instagram and Twitter. So I think it's gonna be real big, and plus it's gonna be in LA, you know, and his home, like his backyard. So I think it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I honestly, man, I think that we learned over time, just being real. Some of the biggest fights you can have is when you have a young African American superstar against a Mexican superstar. I mean, we've seen that happen. We saw, Floyd showing up with sombreros. You know what I'm saying? We've seen it all happen. So, do you have like a certain approach that because you don't just have one Mexican superstar potentially lined up. If you fight Ryan Garcia, you can. This is two humongous fights along those same lines that you can do. Do you have like a certain approach that you're going to take from a presentation standpoint, or how are you going to go in there?
It depends. It depends on just even the lead up to the press conference and things like that. I don't really think Leo is a talk, like he talks, so it probably be a little boring, or not boring, but I'm gonna have to overdo it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have the star power to carry that now, and I think that's part of what Brian and I like. That's what Brian was really alluding to in July when he wrote that story about you having what it takes to be the next pay-per-view star. Because like I'm just going back to like these have become events. You know, these have become like your ring entrance, your ring walk, the way that you fight. I mean, you average 3.5 rounds per fight. I mean, you've fought a total of 79 rounds in your career so far. I mean, in 23 fights. So, there's a lot of expectation, and I think people see you as that next potential star.
Yeah. Just me actually to speak on that me knocking them out, and like that actually starting to put pressure on me now. Now that I think about it, because it just, when I come out there and fight, it's like they looking for the knockout. Like they know for sure it's gonna be a knockout under 5 rounds for sure. So that's starting to put a lot of pressure on me. Just for you just saying, like, people is, my fights ain't been going but 3 rounds and things like that. So that put a lot of pressure on me now that I think about it.
And that's interesting that you say that. It's really candid. And I think what you just said is part of the reason why you have garnered the following that you have, is because not a lot of fighters would be real enough to literally say that something like that is putting pressure on them. Yeah,
but it also shows his maturity. Like you said, I mean, it's just all moving in the right direction.
Yeah. So I mean, when you're saying that, do you think that is that something that you're gonna have to deal with or kind of fight against during training camp as you prepare for the fight, or is it do you just go into there more instinctually and just kind of let it happen?
I think I'm gonna have to just deal with it, not on it. Just how it used to be, like when Michael Jordan used to play, and they was like telling him like he reading the. Well, I got this. I don't know if this actually true, but I got this from my coach. My coach always used to say Michael Jordan used to play, and like when he go back home, and the commentator would be like, he didn't do this right, he didn't do that right. So and then the next game he'll do it right. You feel me?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm born and raised in Chicago, so I grew up on Mike. So
yeah. So that's how it's basically what that's it on my side. What I think that's how I look at it. Like in my time frame where I am right now. So I think that's how it is.
So on the boxing side, how do you see this matchup? What do you like about this matchup with Leo Santa Cruz? From a boxing standpoint.
Boxing, you know, I think it's gonna be to me, to be honest, I think it's gonna be another Pedraza performance to me, because when I fought Gamboa, my last fight, he was on a defense side. He just came to survive. So you know how like somebody punching at you, you can find openings, but somebody that's just trying to survive, that's not hardly punching. That's why you see my last fight only threw about like 7 to 8 punches that round. I mean, like per round. So I think Leo gonna bring the best out of me because he come forward, he throws a lot of punches, which leave him open. You know, like Pedraza. Pedraza came forward and he was throwing a lot of punches, left himself open. And
Yeah, it's always easier to fight guys that engage. Like you said,
yeah,
I mean, I get it. It's like you said, guys that come in just to survive or go the distance, it makes it real difficult because you've got to do both parts. You know, you've got to play both roles in that fight, and you've got to make the action, which sometimes takes you out of the game plan that you really want to implement, and now you have to react to someone simply just trying to get through the fight.
Yeah, that's how it was with Gamboa. I was watching it the other day and I just turned it off because it's like it was a sloppy performance for me because for me because I felt as though I could have did more, but he was just trying to survive. So it just made, you know how they say you fight like who? I mean, you fighting like the
To the
person.
level
Like
of your
if somebody's a
competition.
bum, yeah, if
Yeah.
somebody's a bum, then you gonna fight like them.
Yeah.
But if you fight somebody good, then you gonna fight good. You know what you have in front of you. So that's how I felt with
Yeah,
Gamboa.
and you know, look, in all fairness, I mean, Gamboa, former world champion, crafty veteran.
Yeah,
You know, he made you see something different that maybe you haven't seen before,
yeah,
and
he was
and
tough for
look,
sure.
you learn from it.
Yeah,
Yeah. You know, and you wouldn't be the first, world champion to have that kind of characteristic. But the good thing on your side is that even if that is the case, you haven't allowed those to turn into defeats. That same thing, fighting to the level of competition, is something that was always said about Lennox Lewis as well.
oh yeah,
So,
for sure.
it's definitely, one of the biggest ways of getting past things is knowing what the challenges are. So if you know that, you know what I'm saying, it can actually help you.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
if you had to compare though, and you might not even want to do this, but I'm gonna throw it out there. If you had to compare like the challenge that you see with Ryan Garcia and Leo Santa Cruz, just standing back, which one do you think presents you the most challenge?
Um, I want to say Ryan.
Why?
Why I say Ryan? Because one, he younger. Two, he's gonna come out scared. He gonna come out scared. He played tough right now, but once we even up to the lead up, once we face off and all that, he gonna be scared. He's a kid. You can tell he putting the act on. That's not even him, for
Mhm.
real. I don't believe that's him. When he just talk about me like talking about, yeah, I've been dreaming about for Gervonta. No, you haven't. Stop lying. Stop lying. That's not him. That's not him for sure. That's not him. I can
He's
read through people.
he not
He's
like
soft.
that. You say he not like that,
He's
right?
soft. He's soft. But I do know it's gonna be when we fight. It's gonna take a few rounds because he gonna be scared. He gonna be scared.
Yeah,
There's people
he's
hyping
gonna
him up.
he's
And his
gonna
last performance, not to cut you off, his last performance that's what make him like think that he got me because I played with the guy for 8 rounds and he knocked him out in the first round. That's what's really hyping him up.
Yeah, yeah. So when you were talking about, and we were alluding to, and I think Pete even mentioned this about your confidence, right? So at some point as a fighter, early in your career, there was a point, it had to be, where you like, man, I can do this. I'm good at this.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that confidence comes from, and what moment was that for you, where you was like, I can do this?
Um, I always had that confidence. Even when I won my first fight. I won my first fight, and I looked at my coach. I hugged my coach and was like, no. I won my first fight. That's one. and then I won a championship when I was 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So I won like 14 fights straight, and then I lost back at home, and then I went on the road and won the whole tournament, the Silver Gloves.
Mm-hmm.
And I told my coach, like, damn, like I really can do this. But then I lost my confidence when I turned pro.
Mm-hmm.
I turned pro, and I was on, and me and a guy named Kareem Martin, me and him was fighting together. We still boxed together. He wound up going first before my fight, and he wound up getting dropped. So I'm like, I told the people in the back, like, take my gloves off. Like, I ain't trying to fight. I told them to take my gloves off. I ain't want to fight. And they was like, no, you got to fight. They were pushing me out there. I'm like, damn. So that's when I gained my confidence and then lost it.
Yeah.
So now I'm just doing it now. So
Yeah.
I'm just, it's regular now.
So I have a question. So with the assumption that you get past Leo Santa Cruz, and now you establish yourself as, you know, the top guy in the division. Let's say that from a business standpoint, I mean, it's easy for Ryan to call you out, but a lot of things have to happen for Golden Boy and PBC to make this fight happen. You know, where would it be? Obviously, Ryan's fighting on DAZN. You know, you've been Fox and Showtime, right? So, you know,
it's already written.
it is.
Yes.
So it is written. Okay.
Yeah.
So that would be the next fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he doesn't even to be calling you out anymore. It's happening.
Nah, he don't need to call me out.
Okay.
You know, I gotta ask you though, man, because
He
you're
just hyping himself up at this moment. He know the fight gonna happen. He know for sure it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You hear what his dad said. The end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah. So all the talking is just about done, man. You know,
It's just hyping him up. It probably hyping up the fight. Who knows?
Right.
It definitely is hyping up the fight for sure.
but you know what though? I gotta ask you though, Gervonta, it feels like you are like more fired up to fight him than like anybody else right now. Just probably because he's talking, and that's just a competitive nature thing. Because you know how, I mean, hey, somebody start talking, let's get it. So do you worry about maybe looking past Santa Cruz because you so ready to get it on with Ryan?
Nah, that's what I don't want to look like. I don't want to do that because that's how a lot of people get clipped.
Yeah.
They forget about who's in front of them. You know, so if I am doing that, when it's time to go in training camp, I'm definitely focused on Leo.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm definitely watching both of them now, though. Like while I'm not in training camp, I'm just chilling. I definitely watch. I just was watching Ryan. I think yesterday or the day before yesterday. I watched him spar. But because I was seeing on his Instagram, he said something about me on Twitter. I mean, on his live or something. So I was thinking like, what do he really have that he really think he could beat me? So I watched him spar. I'm like, this boy crazy.
All right, so since you're now looking past Santa Cruz, all right, and so you know, look, we're in a really strange time right now, right? So much uncertainty. Boxing probably returning in June. They would probably want a solid 90 days of promotion for this fight. So when do you suspect this fight's going to take place, or is the date already set?
What for?
Yeah, when is the Santa Cruz fight?
Oh, I'm not for sure. So it's probably like end of June, early July. But I'm not sure on the date.
Right.
But it's for sure around that time. If the virus.
Right, because I mean, you need to have a proper training camp. I mean, a proper, you know.
That's why I flew to LA because I was going to go straight to Vegas. You know, to train once things got.
Yeah, now you're on lockdown.
Yeah. You know, speaking of lockdown, everybody right now is having to try to figure out what to do, you know, during this time. So what is like some of the stuff that you're doing to try to like stay, you know, somewhat in shape and to stay busy, stay occupied, and just keep from being just bored out your mind?
I play the game.
I was gonna ask that. I was gonna ask that.
Yeah, I play the game. I play Madden a lot. I try not to get bad out of shit. I start drinking. I mean, not drinking salad, and then I got a gym in my spot, so
Okay.
I go running.
Yeah. So you say you play Madden a lot. Who do you roll with on Madden? I know it's got to be the Ravens.
For sure.
It's got to be. I figured it had to be Lamar
I'm
all day.
Lamar Jackson King.
Yeah.
I run the ball every time, every play.
Every play. You don't even care. You coming out with 3 tight ends and letting Lamar sweep right.
For sure. Every time.
Man, you know what? I don't know, man. You might have to give me a game, bro. I don't know. I'm gonna roll with the Bears regardless because I'm Chicago all day, and I know we suck. Mr. Trubisky can't throw skill in the ocean, but you know what I'm saying. That head to head might be tight. I did want to ask you though, man, about Fight Night Champion. I don't know. You remember that boxing game?
Yeah, I remember.
Man, I gotta ask you like your thoughts on that. Do you feel like has anybody ever approached you about being in a boxing game?
No, but I like to be on a boxing game.
Yeah, we like to have you in a boxing game.
Yeah.
that's what
I've been playing
we want.
myself a lot.
Right. So yeah, man, I appreciate your time for sure, and appreciate the opportunity to speak. Hopefully, we get a chance to talk again. And next time we talk, hopefully, it'll be right before a fight is start.
Yeah, for sure. Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate y'all.
Yep. All right, man. You have a good one.
All right. Stay healthy. Stay safe.
Yes, sir. You too.